A while ago, I did a video on how much money you can get in Resident Evil 4 Remake, and ever since I've been planning to do one for Separate Ways, and well, it's finally here. It only took me like a year or so, but hey, who's counting? Just like in the previous run, we're starting on a fresh save. No new game plus, no bonus weapons, and no accessories that make things easier. But unlike the main game, there is no extra treasure map and no useful charms, and the story is much shorter, so I had to lower my expectations a bit. And with that in mind, let's dive into it. Recently things have been quiet in Gotham. Thanks to some cape guy, most of Catwoman's usual clients were locked up, and Batman made her job a little too complicated. Luckily, she found work with a villain outside of Gotham, Wesker. But this job was unlike any other. She had to steal a virus sample from all sorts of monsters, and her only ally was Lois, so this mission required a different kind of preparation. And since there were only monsters and infected people to deal with, she didn't mind using a gun. And while Wesker's payment was very good, Catwoman wasn't about to let any valuables lying around go to waste either. So my strategy for this run was simple. Grab every treasure, loot every box, and eliminate all enemies to maximize drops. And to keep my money pile growing, I won't be buying anything from the merchants, because every penny counts. Oh, and I also won't be healing throughout the entire playthrough, because I'm selling those heals for extra cash. Luckily, on assisted difficulty, if I'm on the red after a fight, I'll automatically heal just enough to get back to green. And I'll be using the pistol 90% of the time, saving the other ammo to sell. I'll only pull out the bigger guns when absolutely necessary. I think this challenge is essentially a lot of small and annoying challenges hidden inside a seemingly easy challenge. Also, I forgot to mention earlier that since Batman made life more difficult, we decided to borrow some of Wayne Tech gadgets. The first one are these handy lenses to help us track footprints and stuff, and most importantly, the grapnel hook. Let's just say someone's gonna be very pissed about that. So anyways, we go through these few rooms killing all of the enemies, mostly with the cannon to save ammo, and looting every box and collecting all the treasures, and I also got the rifle in here. When I reach the village, I try to kill enemies as efficiently as possible, using stealth and barrels and traps. Now we do the first merchant request in here. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I'll be doing all the merchant requests to get all the treasures from the merchant. And on my way to the church where we're supposed to meet Lois, we got an unexpected surprise. Holy shit, what the hell is he doing in here? How did he know where I am? And is that a gun? Man, I need to get out of here. After being stood up by Lois, we take it out on these poor villagers on their way to the church. And some enemies have treasures on them, like this one in here. That's why it was crucial to kill all enemies. We reach the merchant in here, and we can trade 2 spinels to get the treasure map that shows us the locations of all the treasures. But even if I don't know the location, I can just look it up on YouTube, or if you don't want to use that, you can just save and buy the map and take a screenshot, and then load the save. This way you'll know the treasure's location without spending the 2 spinels. So the first things I traded were these small keys, because I don't want to leave any locked drawers behind. After that we head to the village where we fight this guy again, before robbing the entire village. And then we head to the house of the big chief of the village. And he was choking the life out of Batman to the point where his suit changed colors. So we helped him and hid on top of the roof like any cat would do. After we made sure Batman left, we went inside the house to see if there was anything worth taking. And after I got all of the valuables, on my way out, we get to try the Undertaker's finisher firsthand before getting chased by him. Come on, run, run, run. Oh, treasure. Oh shit. Oh god. I was running for my life when I realized that I have to kill the people in here. So I started killing everyone on sight, and I just ran past the big cheese to kill the guys in the back. And when he thought he cornered me, I used the grapnel hook to go above him and just ran out of there in style. Let's go. After that, we track Lewis to this old factory, and we get the bow gun in here, and we find a radio frequency. Lewis left us to contact him. But before we get out of there, we get ambushed by a chainsaw couple, which were honestly pretty easy to do with just a pistol. Especially that they came at me one at a time. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to use the pistol ammo most of the time, so I could sell the other ammo types because they're worth a lot. But I never mentioned what will I do with the gunpowder and resources. Well, after a lot of calculations and trials, I found out that the best use for them is to craft handgun ammo from the small resources and SMG ammo from the large one, because they would make me the most profit. And the merchant did unlock a bolt recipe for me that uses a kitchen knife to make bolts, but the SMG was still a better deal, especially that I have to buy the recipe first, which was a big no-no to me. We head on to the village, then farm, and we get to fight this Gigante. And let me tell you something, I really didn't like this fight. It's just that something about being squished into a pancake didn't sit well with me. But mostly because I used all of my pistol ammo on him, and I had to dip into my precious TMP ammo. 55 bullets to be precise. And for what? He doesn't even drop anything, because right after the fight, you just get thrown into a cutscene, then we head straight to the castle. In the castle, not much happened really. I saved Louis from the fire, and then went on to collect a few ingredients. And we finally get to have a little chat with Batman.
Selina, so who are you working for this time?
But turns out he wasn't actually trying to fight Catwoman, but rather he was just saving some girl from here. And right before he could ask about the grapnel hook, she got away.
Selina.
Where were you last Friday?
Then we head to this night's room, which was a bit difficult because I was only using the pistol, no grenades or flashes and no heals either. But after a few attempts it was doable. After we get all of the ingredients, we have to track Louis yet again. And this time we go through sewers and novies, and of course I was collecting all of the treasures and I did the mercenary quest in here. Then I realized something. I usually keep all of the SMG and handgun ammo and sell the rest, because I almost never use the TMP. So I had a lot of SMG ammo just sitting in my inventory, so this game wouldn't give me TMP drops. You might think that's a helpful thing, because this way I have a higher chance of getting money drops, but in fact it's not. And that's because the lowest SMG drop you can get is 15 bullets, and each bullet is worth 50 pesetas, so that's a minimum of 750 pesetas in every drop. And I think the highest you can get is 40 bullets, which is 2000 pesetas. Compare that to a minimum of 200 or 300 pesetas in every money drop, and a maximum of 1500 pesetas, which I'm not even sure you can get, I just read that somewhere. So I just started selling my SMG ammo to get better drops. Then we get to fight the Gyarados in here, and with the limitations I had, it was a little harder than I expected. But after a few attempts, I finally did it. Let's go. That was really quick. After that, we fight the robed monster again, and it turns out to be the U3. And if there is one thing I remember about this guy from the original game, is that he was really tanky. And they made sure to keep that in the remake. And honestly, it wouldn't be this bad if I didn't have low HP and I didn't heal. And I also used only the pistol on him. I almost ran out of handgun ammo in his second phase, but thankfully there were some boxes in here, so I didn't use any other weapon. Okay, it's gotta be over now. Let's go, thank God. After that we have to chase Krauser to get back the Amber, and I did manage to shoot the camouflage novice in here for the merchant request. And then we reached the boat to head to the island. And guess who we had to share the ride with?
I've something to ask you. But I don't think I'll get a straight answer. I have lost some stuff lately, including my grapnel hook, and I only know one person who can do that.
What do you think?
After a very awkward boat ride with Batman, where we straight up lied about stealing his gadgets, just to grapple away once we reach the island.
What?
Don't think too hard, handsome. See you later.
We fought our way through the island until we reached the Wrecking Ball room, and in here I tried to make use of the barrels and the machine gun dudes, and even with that I almost ran out of ammo. Then we get to fight a few regenerators, which wasn't really that bad, but I did use the sniper in here because it would take a lot more handgun ammo than I have to kill them. But with the sniper it only took 2 or 3 shots, which was better for saving money and ammo and my mental health. Then we get to fight the Iron Maiden, and he was tough, especially that this area was very tight and I had very low HP, but after many tries I did manage to do it. After that we head through Gondola, then this military area with camouflage novice for the last messenger quest. And in here I did use the turret to kill most of the enemies, saving some ammo in the process. Then we go through the lab with I don't even know what this creature is, but thankfully we used the grapnel hook to escape in the last second. Then we go through a few more rooms before finally reaching Sadler, and there was no way I can do this fight pistol only without any heals. Trust me, I tried. So I decided to use the sniper rifle as well, but healing was still out of the question. Then I filled out the treasure from the most to the least expensive while focusing on getting the highest color multiplier, because I found out that that is the best way to get the most money. And I sold all of my ammo and treasures before buying and storing a shitload of first aid kits. Then, after a lot of attempts on Sadler, I finally beat him. But it wasn't over just yet. There are still some treasures left. So after we get rescued by Batman, we go to get the special rocket launcher. But there were some treasures along the way, and I had to kill all of the enemies before this timer ran out, which ended up being pretty easy to do actually. Then after we kill and loot everyone, we head up the elevator and we meet an unexpected person in here. Is that Harley Quinn? Holy crap, what the hell happened to you? Anyways, we rush to get the rocket launcher and we give it to Batman so he could finally send away Sadler for good. And when Catwoman finally got the Amber, she couldn't help but ask Wesker what was his plan, which turned out to cause billions of casualties, and she didn't want to enable that. So she ran away with the Amber, meaning that she didn't get paid for it. But luckily we got all of those first aid kits, and now we just go on New Game Plus on the professional difficulty, and we find the merchant in here. And we bought those heals from assisted difficulty for 3,000 pesetas each. But now on professional they can be bought for 10,000 and sold for 5,000. Meaning I'll sell them now for 5,000, which is like a 67% profit. And add that to the treasures I got after fighting Sadler and the remaining weapons, and that brings us to a total of 2,309,740 pesetas. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, you can check out this video where I did the same thing on the main story, and the result was quite surprising.